Hi guys, it's Ben here from T-Rex Space Station. As you can see, I'm in a lovely cottage in Yorkshire on my holidays with Neve. And I thought, what would be a nice video to do? Why don't we review some of Yorkshire's finest ales? We've got quite a selection of them here. And the first one I'm about to crack into is Timothy Taylor's Boltmaker. I am a big fan of Timothy Taylor's Landlord, but I've never had a chance to partake of this beverage. Apparently this one was created for some of the engineers working in Yorkshire on the steelworks and the mines to enjoy, and it goes very well with pork pies. I don't have any pork pies for my tea. Let's crack it in, and try not to pour it really badly, which is the thing that I always do. This is a 4.2% beer. You don't really want one that's going to be too strong if you're going to have a bit of a session or you'll end up getting sleepy. And it's a pretty nice light golden colour. It smells almost exactly like the Landlord does. It smells very boozy actually. Got a little bit of head there, but not enough. It's got a really nice, crisp, hoppy taste to it. That tastes absolutely delicious. It's really full-bodied. It looks very pale, but actually it's got a real depth of flavour there actually. Kind of hints of burntness. How do you describe that? Yeah, it's crisp, it's sharp, it's got a real depth to the flavour, and it's very hoppy as well. That's a delicious beer, possibly nicer than Landlord. I'll tune in when I'm about to crack open the next one. Next up, we've got Wonkey Donkey, which is pretty much the best name for a beer that I've heard in a long while. This is by the Goose Eye Brewery. This is not a brewery that I'm familiar with, but they're from Keighley in West Yorkshire. So let's see how it fares up compared to the last one. Smells like beer. I don't know how to comment on the smell of beer. So this is really quite a different colour to the last beer. This is really a pale amber, isn't it? Much lighter than the last one. It smells quite fruity. Yeah, that's got a certain sharpness to it. You can kind of taste a citrusiness or a fruitiness in there. It's pretty full-bodied though, it's pretty hoppy. Not too malty on the flavour, but really the strong thing I'm tasting there is citrus and fruit. Very nice, quite drinkable. Let me just check how strong that is before I get too drunk. 4.3%, so it's pretty strong as well. Cheers. Alright, next up we've got Galaxy from Mallinson's Brewing Company. This is a single hopped 4% one. This is one that Neve chose. Neve always likes the lighter ones. I like the horrible bready dark ones. I don't think this is going to be a bready one. Still smells... Oh, it smells like melon. Is that a good sign? It smells really strongly of melon. And that's the palest of the lot. That's almost, I don't know, that's almost yellow. Now that really does smell floral. How have you always managed to pick a floral one, Eve? She's just got an eye for the ones that taste like geraniums. Oh, this is exactly the kind of beer that I don't like. It's really sharp, it's got a strong soapiness, and it's kind of like drinking nettles. Even the smell is sharp. Yep, that's exactly the kind of beer that I don't like. That's just gonna set my heartburn off. Cheers. Okay, next up we have Squiffy Sheep, another contender for a very well-named beer. And we bought all of these beers from the Keelan Farm Shop, which we'd never heard of until today. What a wonderful lucky surprise that was, hey Neve? And this one is brewed by the Dark Horse Brewery. So these are all Yorkshire ales, but Squiffy Sheep is hopefully going to be a bit less florally than the ones that Neve picks. She's got a real eye for those. Yep, smells a bit more full-bodied and less sour. And this is more my kind of colour. Actually, this is probably the darkest of the lot, isn't it? That's very dark. I do like my beers to be quite bready and full-bodied. So that's just a very pleasant, quite malty, quite bready, dark beer. Not too different from Black Sheep. Much more drinkable than the ones that taste like geraniums though, so I'm going to enjoy this tipple. Cheers. Okay, we're getting into some familiar territory now with the Black Sheep Brewery. I'm a big fan of Black Sheep beers, especially the Black Sheep Best and the Rigwelter Ale. But I've never heard of Golden Sheep before, which I presume is a lighter, maybe paler type of beer compared to the usual ones. So let's find out. By the way, I'm not drinking all of these in one session, it's now a different day. It smells very much like Black Sheep Best actually. And, oh yes, it's quite a bit, it's probably a bit lighter than the usual Black Sheep ones. How would you call that? Maybe golden or light amber? Cheers. That's a very strange taste. Not sure how to describe that. It's kind of light with a zinginess to it. It's not fruity, it's just sort of quite light tasting. Yes, the finish of it is really dry, but there's a sort of springiness to the first part of the taste. It's pretty nice, but I wasn't expecting it to taste like that. Anyway, I'm sure this will sink down pretty easily. Cheers.